Hello everyone, and welcome to a product introduction video. My name is Ola Draper, Technical Solutions Lead for Cloudpass. And the product we'll look at today is the brand new Hikvision TMC403 Mini Bollard. So here it is in all its glory. As you can see by the size of it, it's a mini ANPR Bollard. This thing measures approximately 670 mil high, 200 mil wide, and about 160 mil deep. If I spin it around there, you can see it's not at all that deep. It has got a powder coating on there as well, so it's got a corrosion-proof layer on there. It's good for outdoor environments, good to know. It has a 4mm 4 megapixel lens. So being 4mm, that means it gives you about an 80-degree horizontal field of view, so quite a wide angle there to capture. This will capture license plates, anything from 1.5 meters up to about 12 meters, depending on how you configure the thing. It's also got 9 IR LEDs at the bottom there as well. It also has a strobing effect on there, so at night time it can overpower the headlights of the vehicle and still capture the reflective plate on there. The lens itself, inside it does have a temperature and a humidity sensor. And it's got heated glass, so what that will do, that will automatically detect the humidity and temperature and decide whether or not to trigger the actual heated glass or not, to prevent any sort of ice or water vapor or whatever that could obscure the actual image itself. What is also quite good, it's got this nice attached hood on there, which is static on there. The previous one, the taller Bollard, I'll put it on the screen for you now to see. As you can see, it's a lot taller, and the actual hood on itself, I've got one here. This was actually, it's like a plastic design it had, wasn't that deep anyway, and again, it could sometimes get moisture onto the lens. This new one, as we can see, it's solid metal hood on there as well, and it's a lot deeper as well, so again, that will ensure that obviously we're not going to get anything onto the lens itself. So what we'll do, we will pop this thing open, take a look inside, and see what we've got. So round on the back of the device itself, you just get the 2 keys that you get in the box of the device, pop it in there, flip to the right, and it has actually got a hinged door in there. The older Bollard, the entire back had to come off. This one, it is on a hinged door, so it does make accessing a bit easy. If you do take the entire door off, there is a little catch there, you take that off there, and again, you can move the entire door should you need to. We'll take a look at some closer detail on the inside. Starting at the top, we have a tamper button in there, tamper switch. So if someone does open the door itself, when they shouldn't be doing, again, that can set off an alert. You've got your camera mechanism there, and you've got the actual main controller just down here. It does have the one RJ45 port LAN port there, and here you've also got your various alarm inputs and outputs, also your relay to wire in your barrier system and anything like that. Then you've got your breaker, and then here is where you're wiring the mains wiring. So again, you've got your live, your neutral, and your earth, and then finally at the bottom there we have the actual back for the LED IRs there. So fairly simple and straightforward what's going on the inside. So what we'll do, we'll get an Ethernet cable plugged in to put it on the network, and we'll put some mains power in here, power it up, log into it, and let's just see what the interface looks like. Okay, so now we've got power going to this device, and we've got it add to our network. I'm using my laptop now, it's from the same network, to log into the device and take a look at the settings. Okay, so we are in a bit of an artificial environment. I've got the camera onto the, just off the camera here is on the, obviously on the worktop in our workshop we're at the moment. So on my laptop, as you can see on screen now, I've got open the SADP tool. That's that free piece of software you can download from the Hikvision website, which essentially just scans the local network and finds any Hikvision compatible devices. Of course, it has found there our TMC403EL. This is the Bollard camera. Currently says it's inactive, so we need to give it a password. So tick the tick box there, and then to the bottom right corner, type in a password of your choice. Open it once, put it in twice, and click activate. That's now activated the device itself. I now need to give this device an IP address based off my local network. So I've got an IP address I know is available, so I'm just going to pop that one in there now based on what we use internally here. Put it on 25. And of course change the gateway address as well. Okay. Put the password again to show you are the administrator and therefore got permission to do this. Okay, parameters are now modified. So what I can do now is simply just double click that IP address and that'll bring me into the login page of the camera itself. So there we are, right on the landing page of the device. So the username is always admin in lowercase and the password, of course, is a password that we've just assigned to this. Click login. And hopefully what it should do now, it should give us the live view of the camera itself in a moment. So as I mentioned, of course, it is in our workshop at the moment. So as you can see, it is just mounted there to the side of us. And straight away, we're opting to arm the camera for the ANPR events. Before we do that, we need to make sure that obviously we've set our scene correctly and the parameters are adjusted in accordance to our environment. Now, what I'm going to do is go to quick configuration at the top, because that makes our life a whole lot easier. It's just a little wizard that's built into the device itself. So if we look at the application mode there, it's on screen, it's set to video detection, or we can use the alarm input output if using a coil in the road. Obviously, we're just using video detection, i.e. when the deep learning algorithm detects there's a vehicle in the scene, it's going to try and take a capture. Easy. Can enable non-motorized vehicle capture. Well, no point in that one, so we can ignore that one. License plate settings, so forward, backwards, or bi-direction. So this is what's great. So if you have got this in a scene where you just wanted to trigger vehicles coming towards you, then again, just have it for forward. Likewise, imagine you've got one of these as well set up on the exit barrier, so it's pointing inside to the premises. You may well be by accident capturing the entrance and exit lane. Now what you don't want is for a vehicle to drive in, and as it's driving away from the exit bollard, it reads it and then pops the barrier to obviously open the barrier. You don't want that. So we can set it just to trigger for vehicles coming towards us or just vehicles going away from us. Again, it's entirely up to yourself how you want that. We'll set it on bi-direction for today. Country region, Europe or all. So Europe's obviously sufficient for what we're doing. Barrier gate control, is it by the camera or is it by platform or is it mixed? So if it's by the camera, that means you're using the relay that's inside the bollard itself to trigger the barrier. Now, with ourselves at Cloudpass, we have a Cloudpass controller that integrates directly into this bollard. So usually what we do is we have our own controller wired to the barrier system. When it detects an event, it fires that event over to our controller and our controller chooses to open the barrier or not. So again, it depends on how you're using this. Got enough to keep the barrier open for other vehicles. Again, this is if you're using the onboard device relay that's in the bollard itself. You can choose to do that. And again, likewise, you have your relays there as well, should you wish to. So, we go next. And then here we have now our parameters where we're going to be sort of setting up the zone, as it were. So we've got the option there for our input in advance time. We've got our output dwell time as well. These are in milliseconds or microseconds, should I say. And we can disable that continuous or environmental brightness should we wish. There's a lot over here that you don't actually really need to touch on any of these parameters. All I would say is adjust your trigger line to be, and of course you can set your border line to where the border of your actual lane is going to be. Again, we're in an artificial environment in here, inside a workshop, but in reality you'll be looking at the actual lane of where your vehicles are going to be driving down. Then we've got our video settings, our brightness, contrast, shutter speed, and then we've got our gain as well. So again, we could potentially leave those as they are, so we'll give it a go straight as it is. I will now click complete. And that is the system, as I said there, save succeeded, pretty much set up, good to go. Let's give it a test. Let's just see what it's like out of the box before we've actually tweaked anything major. So I'm just going to go to live view. And let's just see what we get. Now, this is a deep learning based camera. Years ago, when I used to work at Hikvision, and we used to use the old 4-line ANPR cameras, they weren't deep learning. They were just designed to read numbers and text in a scene. So we used to be able to hold up license plates and it'd work at a trigger. These systems are deep learning based, so they're saying, are you a vehicle, yes or no, before they try to read it. So it does need to be a vehicle in a scene. That means it won't read like signs on the side of vehicles, it won't read bumper stickers, it won't read signage on people's tops and things like that. So we need to somehow get a vehicle in here. Now, what we're going to use today is we're going to use some printouts of vehicles, hold it up to the camera, and hope that should spoof it enough to be able to trigger. So let's give that a go. So back on our live view at the minute. So what you can see, I'll hold this up as you can see, I've got some printouts of some cars here. What I'm going to do on the right hand side, I'm just going to click the arming option, and now I'm going to try and hold these up in the area where I think the line was for the actual trigger, and let's just see what we get. Okay, there we go. We got a ping of that. I caught it twice, as we can see. So if I go to the first one, it's got there, obviously, it's showing the vehicle that was in the scene, obviously me holding this picture, and it's telling us, obviously, the plate that it believed to be, which should be 07 JMY. And as we can see, if I hold it up to the actual normal camera, you see that read as expected. What this does as well, when it captures the picture, it does dump it. When you're in the web browser, it does dump it into a folder location of local PC you're on. So if I go to the little browser option at the bottom, let's go to today's date folder. Hopefully there should be some stuff in there. Yep, and there they are. So if I double click it up, this is the actual capture itself that it actually got. So let's just take a look and see what it pulled through. So there we go. Yep, just a nice still image of that one. It also gave us an up close image of what the plate should actually look like as well. So that's just been dumped on the local browser when you're in here. Now there are other things this camera can do as well. It does have the facility to tell us what colour the vehicle is, obviously of course in the daytime, and also read the badge on the front of the vehicle and tell us is it a BMW, is it a Mercedes, is it a Mazda, whatever it's going to be. So we need to set that up. So let's go into the configuration settings and just to see if we can set that feature up. And this is where we can also tweak other things should we wish to. Now we'll just quickly run through these settings before we get to it. Again, you've got your standard system settings, things like your device status. You've got your time settings in there, your daylight saving time, your serial port. Again, everything in there as pretty much as standard. Your cabinet alarm, that's that, obviously that button I mentioned on the back and inside, so you can turn that on if you want that on to obviously trigger alarm if someone opens it up. Maintenance for defaulting it, updating firmware, exporting settings, that sort of thing. We'll just skip some of these ones because there's not a lot that you're going to really need to touch in this, to be totally frank. As we go down, we've got our application mode. This is where we can further tweak those settings that we did on the quick configuration menu. Most of it we already saw anyway, and it is pretty much set up to do. So again, you've got your right border lane and your left lane there. Again, it's where you can change your area should you wish. As we go down, entrance and exit mode. Again, we saw this on the quick configuration. Here we could put on here an actual allow list and block list, so you can actually, this is if you get the camera's relay to do it, the camera to do it all in itself. You can put the plates into there should you wish to. Capture parameters. So again, we saw this again on the quick configuration. We can tweak it here should we need to change that one. Supplement light method. So again, about the lighting that's on there as well. Vehicle feature. Right. So as you can see here, this is where it's got that option for vehicle color recognition and enable vehicle manufacturer recognition. That's going to be the badge on the vehicle as well. So let's save that and have that one to go. If we go across the text overlay, this is where we can choose what we want on the overlay picture. So again, I can turn it on, say I want an overlay picture, which is what I'm going to want. I want it to be white font on a black background, so it's going to be a bar across the bottom of the actual image that's captured, and it's going to display various bits of text for us. So let's say we want, for example, the direction or the lane or what's going on. The capture information, let's have the capture time, the plate number. I also want vehicle color, vehicle type, vehicle brand, and let's have some vehicle direction as well. So that's the characteristics also displayed along that bottom. You can choose, obviously, what you want displayed on there. And also you can choose what order they are going to be in as well. So I'm just going to click save on there. Save succeeded, that's great. Go to capture images. Again, we can tweak various settings here should you wish to. Some of the key ones there, brightness, contrast, shutter speed. So this is how fast that shutter is opening and closing the camera. Now, on an ordinary CCTV surveillance camera, usually these are set to like something like 1/25, so basically that shuts up to 1/25 of a second. On an ANPR camera, on this one in particular, it's set to 2000. That means it shuts up and close for 2,000th of a second. That's how quickly it's going to be opening. So quite a fast shutter speed. But it needs that in order to get a sharp image on a moving object. If the shutter's open for too long, yes, we'll have a brighter image, but the problem is you're going to get a blurred image on a moving vehicle. If that plate's blurred, the algorithm cannot read the plate, so we need to obviously be wary of that one. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we don't really need to touch most of this, because don't forget, this is a Bollard ANPR camera. It's going to be on the entrance and exit of a gate.
there's not a lot that really tweak on this, because vehicles shouldn't be going too fast. And if they're going too fast towards a barrier, then capturing a plate is going to be the last thing you're worried about, because they're going to hit the barrier at the end of the day. ICR, that's the infrared cut filter. That's when it goes to day mode and night mode. It is set to auto switch. We can change the threshold in there. We can put it on manual switch or schedule switch, or just not switch at all. It's entirely up to yourselves on there. Go to advanced. Again, not a lot that really need to do with the system service. Video capture. Again, this one's quite a useful one. What's our capture distance? Is it more than 6 meters or is it less than 6 meters? So you can specify how far away the vehicle's going to be, at what point does it capture it. Video, this is where we now go into some of the more advanced image settings of the camera itself. So we're going to show details of the advanced things. This is where we can increase it in brightness at night time, enable gamma correction, black and white mode at night time. Go to video. This is where we have some other various things, as mentioned, like the standard video shutters, the gain control, digital noise reduction, whatever you want to be turning on there. The text is, again, this is OSD, the on-screen display, what you want to be displayed on there. Video encoding, these are more your advanced settings. So again, you've got what the bitrate type is, so it's set to 4 megabits per second, and it's at 4 megapixel at 30 frames. Now, it is set to 264 encoding by default. We could put this on 265. H.265 uses half the amount of bandwidth and half the amount of data as 264. So if you want to save storage and bandwidth space, you could knock it onto 265 to help with that one. Again, it just depends if you are plumbing this into a third-party system. If it supports 265 or not, you might have to keep it on 264. But again, that's something for you to look at that. Again, at Cloudpass, when it goes to our controller, we support 265 because, again, we're saving storage and bandwidth. Region of interest is where we can basically specify the image quality to be higher in a certain area and then reduce the quality outside that area if we wanted to do that. And BLC is our backlight compensation. Very rarely do you use BLC on an ANPR camera because it can mess up the already bright parts of the scene and make them overexposed. So we tweak those settings now. Let's go back to our live view. Let's go back to, and obviously arm the system as we did. Again, we're going to use our pictures we got to earlier, and we'll give this another go. Okay, so again, caught it twice. Let's take a look at the first one. So as we got it there, what details have come up? Brilliant. Let's take a look in our folder, because it should have done it in our folder, which it has done. Okay, so let's take a look. Right, should be at the bottom. Clearly didn't put a setting correct. I need to take a look at that because it's actually put it in white in a transparent background at the top. So I might need to tweak that a little bit. But let's see what's captured there anyway. So we've got the time it was captured, the date, got the plate number, which is correct. The vehicle color is white, which it is. It says it's an SUV MPV, and the brand is a Mazda. It detected it moving away because that was, again, how I was moving the actual paper up and down. Obviously, in a real scenario, the vehicle was coming towards it. That would have potentially triggered as it coming towards it as well. So again, fairly happy and quite confident that that is all coming through as we'd expect.
So there we go, everyone. A quick insight into the brand new Hikvision TMC403 Mini Bollard. So again, we just looked through the web browser. Very simple, very straightforward to actually commission it. Again, as a local-only solution when you've got it just there to obviously upload plates and things. However, if you have got a multi-site requirement to have multiple of these on different sites, want it all back to one platform, this is where we can integrate these devices into our X-Pro Cloudpass controller. So this thing speaks directly to our controller. This thing talks to our cloud-based service. And then from anywhere in the world, you can log into the service and look at all your different sites and do full site management. Manage visitor plates coming and going. You've got your fixed staff on there. Whatever you need to do from an automatic number plate recognition system, this Cloudpass controller will do it all for you and much, much more. Stay tuned for videos about that. Now, again, as I mentioned, we have got more videos coming. If you are interested in seeing more videos, please do subscribe to this channel. If you do like the video, leave us a like. Got any comments, leave a comment at the bottom as well. And if you hit the icon in the bottom corner there to subscribe to our channel, you can also hit the bell icon, and that will allow you to get notified we upload any new videos. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.